Hello, Boris. Great to see you. I'm from Poland, so questions about Iga, of course. Iga is four-time Roland Garros champion, of course, but last few months have been very tough for her. And this season she hasn't reached any final in any tournament. In your opinion, is she still the favorite to win Paris? And what will be the key for her to be successful there?
Now, look, in every career of any superstar, and Iga is a superstar, you have years when you go through a change. I think this year is one of those years. I think she changed to a very prominent coaching duo with Francisco Roig and Rafa Nadal in the
Mhm.
background. I think that's a perfect choice for her. But you got to give her a little bit of time to adjust to the changes they are certainly making. But it's in anybody that has won Grand Slam, you have years when you go through a change, the competition gets better, they start to read your game, you have to adapt your style a little bit, you have to improve on your weaknesses. That's normal. So you guys shouldn't worry. I'm sure she's be back in fine form. And you have a very good point. If you ask me now, who's the favorite on the women's side? Today, I would say Iga Świątek because she's won it four times.
Great.
She's comfortable. Honestly, yes, Coco Gauff is a defending champion. Yes, Sabalenka was a set in the breakup last year. Yes, Svitolina was winning in Rome. Yes, Kostyuk won in Madrid. But when you come back to a tournament like Roland Garros, you've done it four times, you feel good about yourself. So, in all honesty, I don't have a clear favorite, but I think Iga is one of the top favorites to win the title.
And follow up, Iga didn't win Rome, but she played several great matches there, and she looked more relaxed, less stressed, and simply
Yeah.
happy on the court, I guess. With this tournament, even though she didn't win, help her build confidence ahead of Roland Garros, because I guess lack of confidence what was the biggest problem for her.
Well, that's always easily said, but there's a reason you are lacking confidence, right? It doesn't just show up. Confidence happens when you do the right thing in practice and you see the improvements in the match. And I think that's why she's more confident now because she sees the improvement she's doing in practice. She's able to translate it into a match. Confidence just doesn't show up. And also, people tell me yeah, about winning matches, but how do you win matches? How do you win matches? So you need to play better, and you can only play better if you practice better. It all starts with the practice. So I think she's practicing better for her taste. That's why she's more confident.
I remember a few weeks ago after Iga's defeat in Madrid, when she withdrew due to virus, you wrote to her on Instagram telling her not to be so harsh on herself. Do you
Yeah.
think she's too harsh on herself as a perfectionist, and is the problem?
Look, you're spot on. I feel for her. She's a perfectionist. She wants to be perfect. Often she's perfect, but she's a human being, and we have bad days. We have weaknesses. Sometimes the stomach doesn't play with us. Sometimes whatever it is, and she's very, very hard on herself. And I always support players who struggle with being imperfect for a moment. I've seen her in interviews, not tennis related, and she's a lovely young woman, right? She comes across nice. She has very, very intelligent. I've seen a couple of fashion covers with her on Vogue. She looks great. So, sometimes get out of this tennis bubble and smell the roses a little bit because, life is good. Life is also good for her. Huh? Look, I think the players have a point. They were invited last year with the Grand Slams to have a conversation of what they want. I think Sinner put it perfectly in Rome. He said there was a lack of respect from the Grand Slams towards all the players. They haven't gotten an answer. It's their right to earn more money because the cake is so big, right? Let me compare it to other sports. Now, in the NBA, in the American sports, there's a 50-50 percentage from the club owners to the salaries of the players. So what they make of the success of the players. In tennis, the prize money was at 15 or is at 15%. So the players ask for an improvement up to 22%. 22% is a reasonable improvement. It's not 50, it's 15 to 20%. I think it's fair. They weren't granted, so players have to react. Now, how do the players react? I don't think it's organized within the players. That's what I would criticize, is that there isn't a common agenda amongst the male and female players how to organize such a protest. Because everyone looks a bit at themselves. You may know that the current ATP Tour was founded by me and 9 other colleagues on the parking lot of the US Open in 1988. Because we 10 players, we stuck together. We had one leader, that was Mats Wilander, but we all supported him. Now in the top 10 on the male and the females, I don't think they all stick together. That's why this protest is not working. But I think in general they have merit. Tennis is one of the most successful global sports in the world, with a lot of money to be made for all sides. I think players have a right to earn more money.